Welcome back! D and K, not to be confused with Donkey Kong.
Yeah, true.
I'd be Donkey, though, because mine's with the D. Doom.
Yeah, the only thing I think is like a Shrek joke now.
Donkey!
Donkey? Hopefully I won't get sued on that one.
Donkey Kong. Doom and Corruption, back here. Another video, and I'm a little loopy, and I don't know why. I think it's because it's Friday, and it's Labor Day weekend, and that's effing awesome.
Yeah?
Wouldn't you say so?
Oh, yeah. Except I usually don't get holidays off, so...
No, you work at a casino.
So...
And,
24/7.
24/7. I work at a radio station. We're 24/7 too, but we can automate it, so no one has to be there.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
I thought they were just low man on totem pole type thing.
Oh no, well there'll be somebody like there in the morning to like record the news and make sure that
And to push the button.
that nothing died,
Yeah.
and push a couple buttons, and maybe they'll go home. Anyway, we're back again to talk about some games. We're also discussing the possibility, well, not necessarily possibility, it's more of a probability that we're going to make another channel for multiple reasons. One, so we can just put these videos on that channel, just because. And also, so we could maybe do some Let's Plays, not really Let's Plays, more like, here we are playing some games and doing some commentary kind of things.
What y'all call it? Let's Fails.
Let's fail. D and K, let's fail.
I can see that quite a bit.
It'll be fun. And it'll require a lot of editing
Yeah.
that he'll do and not me. Because I don't like to edit. We had this discussion earlier. It's like, pretty much when I make my videos, it's hit record, talk, hit stop, upload, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. And he's walking me through the process of
My videos.
his videos. And it's like, screw that. No way.
Yeah. No, there's a little bit more work involved. Granted, I'm not anything too special.
Well, and neither am I, but it's just like, I do it as an extremely casual hobby. I don't take it too seriously. So therefore I personally don't feel the need to, overly produce it. But that's just a preference. That has no bearing on anything. I'd rather just make really bare bones videos and have fun with it.
There's a few things that if I don't edit around, then it just annoys me, and then I'm just like, nope, this gets thrown away.
Well, it's a little different, like with what you're doing too, like with commentary over gameplay, because you're playing the game and capturing the footage and then doing commentary.
Yeah.
So then it takes a whole bunch of steps to like mix that stuff together.
Yeah.
Not me.
I'll eventually try and do like live commentary somehow, and that's just going to be probably a lot more work than what I'm already doing, but...
But everybody that I've watched that does like live commentary and stuff, it's like they struggle with it so bad, like in the beginning, because it's like can't play and talk at the same time. It's just like when they're playing like really intense games, you just hear them like get quiet all of a sudden,
and then they suddenly die. It's like,
mother. But those are fun to watch too, which is kind of going to be like kind of what we're doing. It's going to be a lot of slapstick, spur of the moment kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fun. But anyway, we'll get into the topic du jour. I figured we just open up a can of RPG on y'all.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk about some RPGs because we both really like RPGs, and we've already talked about the other series and games that we really like, fighting games and first-person shooters, and we're both really big on first-person shooters. But we're also pretty big on RPGs. So today we're primarily going to go over a few games in his collection, and he's going to talk about them.
Yeah.
And I'll just add some comments because I'm cool like that.
Well, it's not like you haven't played some of these.
Well, I've played them all a little bit, but looking at the stack here, I haven't played hardly any of them. I mean, like almost all of the games I've played a little bit, but not enough to like formulate like real opinions. What I want to know is how does that work?
I think I was explained that the Connect feature, you actually just yell at your TV the shouts, so you can Fusrodo at your TV. That was the last I heard on how that worked.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, no.
I think your wife would divorce you.
She'd be like, "What are you doing?" No, she wouldn't be that nasty, but she would certainly like question what it was I was doing and maybe consider me a bit insane, which she would be okay in assuming that if I was truly like yelling at my TV expecting something to happen.
Especially if you couldn't pronounce it right and it just doesn't register.
I suppose that's this shit. What? Never mind. Swing your sword.
Swing your sword. And he shoots an arrow. We don't know.
Oh man.
But yeah, Skyrim was fun. But yeah,
I'm not very far. Well, I say that, but I played it for like 6 or 7 hours, which is not very far at all for that game. I really, really liked what I played, but it's intimidating. That game is so intimidating because it's so open. It's like, where in the heck do I go? You know?
Yeah, and with the games like that, after Fallout 3 came out, which we've also got.
It's in the same stack.
Yeah, same stack. So, same type of game. Fallout 3 was really good with that open world experience. And then you had the issue of, well, what do I do next? Fallout 3 kept a pretty good track on your main story quest, and it was usually the first thing that got popped up on your quest log. So you could go through it pretty quickly, and once you were done with the main quest, or actually just before you got done with it, you would go and do everything else you wanted to do in the world. Skyrim, I mean, it kind of keeps that same mechanic, but you really, once you get looking through the menus, you're like, what's the main quest again?
Yeah. Well, my next question is, can you beat Skyrim, or does it just kind of keep going forever?
See, that's the problem. I got so, like, OCD with the quests and everything, I haven't finished the campaign.
Okay.
So,
I know, how many hours did you put into it? Because I know it was like quite a bit.
God, I can't remember that.
It was like when you first moved back, too.
Yeah, the main campaign, I put, I want to say 70.
Yeah, that's about par for the course. I think I want to say it's probably like 80 to 100 hours is kind of what everybody that beat it put into it.
And I mean, I got decently far into it, but no, I don't think I'm anywhere near the end. I got up to the top of that mountain and fought Alduin after getting that Elder Scroll and crap. And I don't really follow the Elder Scroll storyline so much.
I was just about to ask, did you ever? For some reason I was thinking you told me you didn't care for Oblivion.
I picked it up after I picked up Skyrim, and I don't mind it so much. But after you get used to like some of the mechanics from Skyrim, and you go to an older one like that, it's a little bit trickier. But there's a lot of stuff that was enjoyable, a lot better with Oblivion than there was Skyrim too. But
I haven't played Oblivion at all. I've played a little bit of Morrowind, the third one, but I haven't. Not enough to actually.
I think I only put like an hour into Oblivion.
Oh, okay.
Because I got that same time I got that Dragon's
Dogma. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. The tragic Dragon's Dogma. Yeah. If you don't know the story, he put the thing into his PlayStation 3 and crunch.
It killed that disc. In fact, I still have it.
Yeah, his PlayStation 3 is like a first generation PS3, and it's the I don't know what you call it, the suck drive. It pulls the disc in. Just decided to put a hole in the disc because it was like the motor or whatever that pulls the disc in.
It's kind of going out. So if you don't give it a little push assist to it, it just slowly pulls it in, and then the drive's like, hey, it's ready. The disc said it wasn't.
Man, I cannot imagine paying $40+ for a game, and the first time you put it in, that's what happens.
Trust me, I was pissed.
Oh man!
I sent you that picture like after I cooled off.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh man, I was like, I felt sick. I wasn't even here.
You weren't here. You didn't see it. You just
like, oh my god!
You got a picture sent of it, and Yeah, no, it was horrible.
Well, luckily you've got like 7 other versions of that game.
Yeah, we got Dark Arisen, which I found out the other night. It just kind of pissed me off too. So, and not anything that my game messed up.
Not even any, like, it's not even a big deal. He's just making a big deal out of it.
Pissing me off because I was waiting for it. I was
just go ahead and say it.
So we moved back. I moved back to this town. Town's got like no Dragon's Dogma or anything.
No.
We want new video games that are decent. We go a ways off to find these things.
Minimum of an hour away.
So I eventually finally broke down after like the first, I think, 5 months. Just ordered it off of Amazon because it wasn't coming out on DLC for Xbox or anything. And I've had it for maybe a month now. Went on to the Xbox Marketplace the other night. Seen that Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is for download now.
It's there.
Yeah. The one thing I was waiting for, and it just decides that after I acquire it, hey, here you go.
Well, at least you didn't have. You would think you would have had to wait a whole another month to play it. You've had a whole month to enjoy it now, and other people that were waiting for it, they're just now not waiting.
They're just now not waiting. I like that.
Think of it that way.
All right.
Dragon's Dogma is no secret that he's a humongous fan of that one too. Another, it's odd because it is pretty much a Western RPG, but it's made by Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's we kind of talked about that a little bit before. It's kind of an odd entry for Capcom, but it's effing amazing.
I mean, it's almost like a blend of Western and JRPG.
Yeah,
it's really got those elements.
It's not. It's to me, it's more like Skyrim than it is to say like Final Fantasy or something like. It's more like Skyrim, than that. But I've played so few Western RPGs that when I hear that term Western RPG, that's immediately what I think of. I think of the Elder Scrolls or like Baldur's Gate. That's what I think about. And when I think about JRPGs, I think of Final Fantasy. So it's like when you compare them, they're completely different.
I've always been the kind of guy that's. You said Western RPGs to me at first, and I was always like, "Oh, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, really?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about at the core of it. Yeah, he's a big D&D guy too. Think about at the core of it. This game has an awful lot in common with Dungeons and Dragons. Really.
Yeah.
It's just you don't have to have the dungeon master. It just kind of does it, but still you make decisions and you build your character the way you want to. I mean, and you said yourself too. You kind of build or you kind of take the quests that you want to on your way to the main goal.
Yeah, and then you basically set up your good and evil type of thing.
Yeah.
It's just not as in-depth as maybe you would get within D&D. And there's still limitations within video games, don't get me wrong, but I haven't played D&D on pen and paper in years upon years. So
I've never played, honestly. I never have.
But you have a Skyrim, I enjoyed it a lot, but it still didn't compare to Fallout 3 for me.
Which is kind of what, I mean, they're both made by Bethesda, so I mean, it's kind of...
They're a similar type of game, but when it came from like Skyrim 70-hour campaign, and I only had the one character, and I had maybe like 6 characters on Fallout 3, and my main character had over like 140 hours.
Well, does it peeve you that the Elder Scrolls is, quite a bit more popular than Fallout? I mean...
Well, not necessarily, because I mean Elder Scrolls has been around.
I just mean like the when I say that I'm a generalization, mainly talking about
like these two games comparatively, or
yeah, or like even Oblivion too. I would include Oblivion in the conversation because really Oblivion came out closer to this one than this one did. This is several years later.
Yeah.
You'd have to compare Oblivion to Fallout 3 and Skyrim to like New Vegas or something that would come out in a place, after New Vegas, which hasn't happened.
Well, not yet. Fallout 4 is announced, though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, last I heard, it was been
cool.
announced.
I still need to play 3. I really want to, though. It's one of those games that my brother-in-law just borrowed it from me, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. He was just looking for something to play, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll play this." And it's weird because like he played it, and he really, really liked it, and he was like waiting for somebody to give him the expansions because he had a friend that had like the expansions to 3, and he was waiting to play that, but still hasn't got it yet. But I'm surprised that he hasn't gone out and bought New Vegas. But
Yeah,
I hope that he's not disappointed.
New Vegas, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It was kind of a middle of the road kind of RPG. After Fallout 3, it was hard to kind of follow.
Yeah.
So now I'm hoping that they kind of take a step back and go the Fallout 3 route with 4, or whatever the hell they're deciding to call it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's been announced quite yet.
Old Vegas.
Yeah, I haven't even been there yet.
Neo Vegas. He was really into Far Cry 3, and that's why I kept trying to tell him, like, after playing Far Cry 3, and I haven't ever played it. I know that you're a big fan of it. I don't know how RPG-ish it is, but I know it's got like a lot of like scavenging in it. And is there like that kind of thing in like looting and scavenging in Fallout 3?
Yeah, there's a looting element on everybody that dies or even just unconscious.
Yeah,
you can loot
that's
from.
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the same as basically Skyrim's system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in what's that other game that I was tip of my tongue? It's gone now. Dead Island was kind of like that. He was really into that, and
but when it came
BioShock, that's the one I was trying.
Far Cry 3 though, their elements for like looting. You had like an animation of a pat down, you get like ammo, and that was about it. You could pick up some of their guns, and then they had the hunting aspect to get the hides from different animals to build like larger storage capacity for your different ammunition.
Okay.
But after that, after you did level max on all your storage upgrades, the hides did nothing except maybe generate money.
Yeah.
And after you bought all the guns, the only thing money generated for you was more ammunition.
Yeah.
It really kind of died after a certain amount of playthrough. There wasn't much.
3?
Yeah. Far Cry 3.
Oh, okay.
Far Cry. Yeah, after Far Cry 3, after you reached a certain point in the game, it was just very repetitive. There wasn't much more to do except restart the game and do the campaign again.
Yeah, unless you wanted to like just go hunting. But my brother-in-law, I keep bringing him up, but he really was into that game quite a bit, and every now and then he said he's still put it in just to like go hunt deer or go hunt a big bear.
Yeah, I mean
just for grins. And I heard that the multiplayer is actually pretty awesome too.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's surprisingly good. Like I would never assume that a game like Far Cry 3 would have a decent multiplayer, but I've watched him play it and I've heard you talk about it, and it's like, man.
Yeah, if you want to think of anything, Far Cry 3's multiplayer, think along the lines of Modern Warfare 1. I mean, it's like that. That's how it reminded me of. Especially their kill streaks. You had certain... You only had the 3-tier perks.
Yeah.
And they upgrade a bit. But I mean, like, your biggest one was like an airstrike for, like, cannon streak. You look down the periscope and you blow shit up.
Yeah.
But if you used any of your other ones before it was on a meter basis instead of just, like, you got 3 kills, you got this one, so you get 2 more, and you get this one with that one. No, if you got all your 5 kills and you used your 5-kill streak, it took your whole meter down. You had to start.
Okay, see, that makes more sense.
It balanced it a lot better, really.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it.
But what if you? But if you used the 3, did you go back down 2, like, or did you still regenerate up to the 5?
If I recall, after you used your perk, it just went all the way down.
Okay, so if you wanted to use the 7, say, you had to wait until you had 7 in a row.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it was really well balanced, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I'm probably gonna go back to playing it here in a bit. The map
just because we're talking about it?
Yeah, that too.
Well, yeah, and like the map editor, that was like another thing too. It's like how like you could make your own maps and they would get like graded, and based on the popularity of it, it could like get into like the higher tier, where there was a ton of people playing on that map because it was a good map, and whereas you could spend infinite amount of time playing the low tier maps because people could just make them like whenever. So I thought that was pretty cool too. It's like, wow, that I mean, you don't think about that. With Halo, they kind of did that a little bit with like the Forge and stuff, but for some reason I always got really bored playing the Forge maps because they always felt pretty much the same.
Yeah, your overall levels were just a template.
Yeah,
and,
it was like it just kind of man, this is boring, you know. But I hear that the Far Cry ones
oh yeah, considering
were quite a bit better.
You generate everything. I mean,
Yeah.
your island, if you wanted even water around it or whatever, you generated all the hills and everything.
Yeah,
It was amazing, but nobody really played the multiplayer. I haven't even seen lately how many's even playing it now.
probably not very many, honestly. I mean, the game is what not even like
Maybe 2 years.
no Far Cry 3 that just came out last year.
Did it?
Yeah, it's not even a year old yet.
Oh crap!
Yeah, I was thinking it was just like 8 months, something like that. I think it was just like last fall.
Could be right. I can't remember.
I think it was a 2012 game, pretty sure. Yeah, it's not very old.
Dang.
Yeah.
Show them time slips me by real fast. I don't even.
But I mean, I know that's not really like a hardcore RPG, but I mean, it's got some RPG-esque kind of thing, similar to like your Fallout or your.
Yeah. I mean, that's what really defined it.
BioShock, that's kind of like that too.
That's what really defined it. Because after, Far Cry 2 had about the same type of systems for the RPG elements, but it wasn't as well polished.
Yeah.
3 came out, and it was pretty well amazing.
Yeah.
There's just a lot I can't do in Far Cry 3 for certain reasons of that water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember watching him, like, having to, like, dive into, like, wells and stuff and
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
escape.
There's a few areas I had to, and I'm telling you, it took a lot to finish this game.
You're on an island.
I'm on an island, but they want to be in that water every now and then.
So you're going to play Riptide then? Dead Island?
I haven't even played the first one.
I didn't either. I own it, but I haven't played it.
God damn.
I played it for like, I don't know, half an hour or 45 minutes, and I just wasn't into it. Like, it just didn't grab me at all. Zombies grabbed me.
Yeah.
But
that's how it works.
But I don't know. I mean, I'll probably give it an honest try, but I'm not going to get Riptide unless it just gets like ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
$10
Kind of seemed like
at
Borderlands
GameStop or
2.
something like that. Yeah, see, I took a great interest in, like, I wanted to like Borderlands, like when Borderlands 2 came out. And so I bought Borderlands 1. I haven't played it yet, but I hear that it's really great. And so I'll probably end up with Borderlands 2, but I'm by no means rushing out to buy it. Even at new price, I think it's only like $25-$30 brand new at GameStop, which means it'll probably be, like 17 or something like that for a used copy. But I'll wait. It's not going anywhere.
Well, with what we've got now, I think most people are thinking we just like the first-person shooter RPGs.
well, except Skyrim. We talked about that.
Skyrim, yeah.
We got a couple others there.
But yeah, when we go back to more traditional, we've got Legend of Dragoon and Final Fantasy VII. It's the best game.
You've talked about that quite a bit anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, so people know you're a big fan of JRPGs too.
Yeah, Legend of Dragoon I played once before.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me that.
And I borrowed it from a guy, and I don't think he made it too far into the game, and he didn't expect me to get very far. But within the first night, I just kind of hardcore grinded it, and damn near surpassed his point. I think I made it like into Disc 2. Because it was pretty simple with that combat system, and I had the timing down just right back then. And I told him where I was at, and the next thing I know, he was coming to my door getting that game back.
He didn't want you to pass him.
He didn't want me to pass him. I never got to play that game again, and then you finally gave me this copy.
Yeah.
I need to get around to playing it. So.
Well, see, I had a double of it, but I still haven't played it yet either. But that's for the longest time, obviously in my ignorance, didn't know that you could play the PS1 game on PS3. But, whatever.
Well, don't feel bad, because I've got my original Fat Boy PS3 from launch day. I knew it played all 3, 2, and 1 PS games. But when the newer consoles came out, I thought they took away all backwards compatibility.
Oh, yeah.
And then you told me the PS1 still plays, just not the PS2.
See, that's what I thought. I thought that because I had a Slim, it didn't do any backwards.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, well, no, a PS3 will naturally play a PlayStation 1 game, just like the way that it is. Will play a PlayStation 1 game. But whatever it was that made the PlayStation 2 the PlayStation 2, they took that out of the PlayStation 3 because it didn't need it. The only reason it was there was to make it backwards compatible. That's the only reason it was there, like, in the first place. And apparently it was like an expensive part, whatever it was. So when they made the Slim, they took that component out. But it still naturally played the PlayStation 1 games, so I didn't know that. So, that said, both of those games I need to go back and play. Now that does yours like take a memory card too? Like, does it actually have a memory card, or is it just the digital memory cards?
I think these were just digital, but it's got the slot. I can't remember. Yeah, these are just memory card slots for like SD cards. And
Okay,
stuff.
so I wasn't sure. I never really knew how that worked because I am so ignorant on hardware because I just don't. Honestly, I don't care that much about like the hardware and stuff. It's like I want a console that when I get it, I plug it in, I put the disc in, and it plays. Beyond that, I don't care too much.
Yeah.
But,
no, yeah, with these, they still run on the virtual memory.
yeah.
And I was surprised because this one, the 80 gig, still had all the like SD memory card and all the other little gizmos.
Yeah.
But they didn't include PS2 memory cards, PS1 memory card slots. I don't know why.
I thought that for some reason, I thought that they did, but that was just.
Well, I think there was I think there was an add-on for like
maybe
the USB ports.
Maybe, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
I like the virtual memory card though because it, unless your system itself dies, the chances are the files aren't going to get corrupted like they would on a regular normal memory card, or just like randomly disappear because the battery died, inside the memory card, which was my problem actually. The memory card the only PlayStation 1 memory card I have, the battery's dead, which is fine because I didn't have like a ton of game saves on there anyway. I completely skipped the PlayStation 1. Like, I went straight to PlayStation 2. So I didn't have any PlayStation 1 games, that I would have a bunch of like game saves on and stuff. And I never really got into, collecting for the PlayStation 1 except for the last couple of years, where I've gotten a handful of titles and I haven't played like hardly any of them. So.
Back then, the 3 games that I played back then on PS1 that would have pissed me off losing data, which I did lose one, was Final Fantasy VII,
yeah,
Metal Gear Solid, and Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Did you not play Symphony of the Night?
Not on PlayStation, not back then, no.
Okay. I knew you're a huge Castlevania fan. I didn't know if you'd ever. I don't remember talking to you about Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I liked Symphony of the Night, but I didn't get it until I got that Dracula X Chronicles.
Oh yeah, which I have. It's at my house.
Yeah, but me and Castlevania, I got into Castlevania like late. When Circle of the Moon came out on Game Boy, that's when I picked it up and I really got into it.
I really like the early ones. Like I like the NES ones. I mean, they're hard as crap. There's no way I could beat them, but I like them. So I have 3. I don't have the first 2. But as far as like collecting them, it's like eh. I really liked Portrait of Ruin on the DS. That one's fantastic. I'm not even like, I don't even know how far I am exactly, but I've played for probably about a dozen hours or so, 10 hours, and it's awesome, and it really makes me want to get like the other DS titles. And also I've played the demo for the latest one, which you don't have a 3DS, so you wouldn't be able to play it anyway. Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate, and it's getting like mixed reviews, but I kind of like it. I mean, I played the demo all the way through, and
now is that separate from the Lords of Shadow game, or is that
I think it's like
port?
I don't think it's not a port. It's more of the style of like Portrait of Ruin.
Okay.
Like it's side scrolling, with the 3D, kind of makes it pop out a little bit, but it's still side scrolling. But
I still need to pick up Lords of Shadow.
I really want to play that one too. I hear really good things about it. I mean, from mixed reviews. Castlevania in general is kind of a mixed bag because there's some people that live for Symphony of the Night, and then there's some people that live for Super Castlevania 4, and some people that are all about the original trilogy, and some people that love the original trilogy but hate the second one, because it was so much different. So like the first and third, and it's so divided. I mean, it really is, especially when it came to Lords of Shadow and like some of the PlayStation 2 games too.
When they went 3D, they had some issues.
There was a big like.
The 64 titles, they weren't really like,
Wow, who cares about those?
Yeah.
Don't you have one of those?
I've got Castlevania 64. Yeah. I still need to pick up the other one.
Yeah,
which is supposed to be better.
I've never played them, but I think the big division came with the PlayStation 2 ones. It really kind of split styles. But I think that's maybe what I liked about the demo for Mirrors of Fate. It was kind of a throwback to the old style.
Mm.
But I really want to play Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night on.
Oh yeah, Rondo of Blood was fun.
Yeah, I want to play that one because I hear that it's really great. And part of me really wants to go back and play, find a ROM or a cart of Bloodlines for the Genesis too, because I hear that it's pretty good.
Yeah, there was a ton of Castlevania games. I don't even think made it over here.
Oh, probably Japanese only ones.
Yeah.
Bloodlines. I just found out actually from somebody else's video or something on YouTube. I can't even remember who or what I was watching, but said that Portrait of Ruin was a tie-in to Bloodlines. Made after the fact, obviously, but it kind of tied Bloodlines into the rest of the story because it was kind of on its own. It's like a Castlevania game on Sega Genesis. Everybody's like, huh? It doesn't make any sense.
The hell's a Genesis?
Yeah. What the hell is a Genesis? That was me back then because
that was our entire area back then.
I know. It's like. Did you know anyone that had a Sega Genesis?
I didn't know anybody that had a Sega Genesis.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'd seen them on TV, but seriously, I had never even seen a Sega Genesis probably until I was in high school. So that's a long time, to be alive and not see a Sega Genesis. I mean, if you're my age, I guess. I don't even know what year the Genesis came out, but we were in high school like. 2000, early 2000s, so it's like, if I hadn't seen a Genesis for at least the first 10, 12 years of its existence, must mean that no one had one.
Yeah, around our area, nobody did.
All Nintendo, Super Nintendo, or nothing. Pretty much.
You either had a Nintendo or some farm equipment, one or the other.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to have both. Speaking of farm equipment, I'm going to play this when I get home. It's a new guilty pleasure, I guess. I won't even be guilty about it. Whatever. I don't care.
Good old Harvest Moon.
Good old Harvest Moon. I never played one, but I played Root Factory. Freaking like 35 hours of it. Good grief.
Well, at least it wasn't one sitting.
No, but it might as well have
been, yeah.
Because that's all I thought about for that entire week that I played those 35 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. It was bad. I was having dreams about being a farmer.
Oh, that is really bad around our area, too.
Yeah, it's like, it'd be really easy for me to be a farmer
if
I had the money. Alright, we've yammered long enough.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about some games. Not all of them were RPGs, so we know.
Yeah. But they had some RPG elements.
That's right.
What counts.
They thought about RPGs when they made those games. So anyways, I want to thank you for watching D&K episode...
Are we on 6 now?
6, whatever it is. I don't know why I put numbers on it. It doesn't matter. Jeez.
You know what you're watching.
You know what you're watching! Where else would you get this set of guys talking about the games we talk about?
Especially the games we talk about.
I know. Jeez. We're such a weird thing.
We go from Far Cry 3 to Harvest Moon.
Yeah! We were like the OCD gamers, I guess.
There's our new one.
Yeah. Alright. I'm going to cut it off. We're like almost 35 minutes for D&K. We're signing out.